If you want to learn how I make thumbnails in DaVinci Resolve, follow me over to the computer. All right, guys, let me show you how I make thumbnails for my podcast in DaVinci Resolve Studio. What you're looking at here is what we're going to make. This is the final look that we're going for. My logo is pre-made. I already have that. I've taken that from previous thumbnails. This outline is in my effects panel in titles. If you look here, SLP blue highlight, SLP red rectangle, either are the same. Let's just drag that over here and put it down on the timeline. I'll chop that off because we only going to make this thumbnail a second. All right, so let me get rid of this other one that's already there. All right, so we've got the logo for the podcast. We brought in a red rectangle, which is something that I'm selling on my website. There's a link in the description below. You can go grab one yourself to follow along. I'm going to change the color of this to orange. Just because, why not? You can make it whatever you want. We're going to come over here to the width. We're going to make that 1. We're going to take it all the way out. We're going to make the height all the way out to 1. And that's a little thin. So from there, we're going to come over to the border width, which will make this orange outline a little thicker. You can make it as thick as you want. Obviously, that's ridiculous. So we'll just make something like that. Okay, and we've got our outline, and that is from the titles, which is something I created. I use it for tutorials to highlight things on the screen, and I found it works well making outlines for thumbnails. So once you have that made, you can just copy it all you want. Sometimes what I like to do is I like to double them up. Let's change the color. We'll change the color of this other one to blue. So now there's a blue on top of it. And if I was to come over here to settings and do a little crop, so let's crop from the bottom. Go about halfway, right? Let's say that's halfway. It's good enough. 1080. And then we can have the softness, and then we can have these blend into one another. And if we adjust the crop, we can adjust where this blend is. So let's do something like that. That's a little different. So we got 2 of our rectangles, 2 of my rectangles, which again are available on my website. Check the link in the description below to get that. Again, I like to make these thumbnails about a second because you're going to have to do some tracking, and it takes a long time. The default is like 10 seconds. So I make it 1 second to make our lives easier. I have a generic football background that I created. There it is. So there we go. We got a nice stadium, a little soft blur. We got our logo. We got our fun little borders around the outside. I'm doing this a little bit backwards, but you'll see what I'm getting to. Let's bring in a picture of Kyler Murray. There he is. There's Kyler Murray. I already repoed him over to the side because I want him to be a little to the left. We're going to have J.J. McCarthy on the other side. So we want to get rid of Kyler Murray's background from his photo. We would just want him to be clean so that he can appear over our background. And we're going to put a border around him to help him stand out. So how I go about that is, let's open this up in the Fusion page. And the reason I do this is so that I can have a little more control about Kyler. All right, so now we're here in Fusion. We'll hold Shift and Spacebar, and then we are going to look for Magic Mask. There it is. We're going to add that. I'm just going to bring this over because I like to space things out so it's easy to see. So while we're on Magic Mask, we have that selected. We come over here to the control panel and switch from faster to better. We select the little eyedropper tool, and we'll just start picking out Kyler Murray's body, and his background's going to disappear. Let's get the football back in there. We're pretty good right there, but I'm just going to make a couple more. Just why not? To be safe, to make sure we have everything. Make sure he has his hair. All right. So now that we have him pretty clean, I'm not too worried about the edges because we're going to put a border around him and it's going to cover that. So I'm going to do quick track. This is why I want to keep 1 second. This is way all 24 frames will have the background removed of Kyler Murray. And if you're not interested in putting a border, essentially you can step back out of Fusion and there he is. Kyler Murray is over our background, ready for our title, which I'll drag in over here. I already pre-typed it. You could do whatever style you want. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I have a Mr. Beast style font and that'll be our eventual title, but let me move this off there now so you can see what we're doing. But so there, that could be it. That could be done, and we could use this empty space to write our title in there. But I want to throw JJ McCarthy in there. So let me just slide JJ in there. We're going to want to remove, I've already pre-positioned him where I want him to wind up. I want him a little smaller and Kyler Murray to be more of the focus. We may even want to make JJ a little bit smaller here. Let's JJ, he's sad. He's about to lose his job. He's looking kind of disappointed. But we want to get rid of his background from his photo. So again, let's step into the Fusion page. We will select Shift Spacebar and we will have Magic Mask and we will add that once again. Let me just center this over here so you can see better. We will go up to the control panel and select Better. We will select the eyedropper. We'll start putting some selections on JJ. Let's bring his head back. Again, we're probably pretty good right there. I'm just going to do a couple just to be safe. We'll quickly track that so the background is removed from the entire 1 second of image we have. Okay, all right, and it's like I said, essentially at this point, there it is. JJ's there. Kyler's there. We've got our font, but I want to put a glow around these guys. Okay, so let's go back in. Let's start with Kyler Murray. We'll step back into the Fusion page and let me show you how I add a glow around them. First off, I will bring down a background. I'm going to change this background into green. Essentially, I'm going to be creating a green screen for the glow that's going to go around Kyler Murray. So we've got the green screen. We throw it into the preview side. We will hit Shift and Spacebar once again. We will select Matte Control. We will add it to the background. And then we are going to take Kyler Murray's mask and patch it into the Matte Control. And then I'm going to drag the Matte Control over to the background. And you see, there he is. We have a green screen and an empty space where Kyler Murray should be. So how we make the glow is we got to do one more thing. We're going to, while we're selecting Matte Control, we hit Shift and Spacebar once again. We're going to hit Delta Keyer. This is going to do our green screen for us. Before I do that, I'm going to drag the Delta Keyer in. That fills in Kyler Murray. He's now a solid shadow. Come up to the control panel. We're background color. We're going to grab the eyedropper and we're going to select the green. And now we just have a shadowy figure of Kyler Murray. So here's how we create the glow. Back to the control panel for the Delta Keyer. Select Matte. Right here where it says Erode Dilate, I'm going to make that a little larger. I like to go to about 75, so I'm just going to type that in. And you see there's a gray border around him, which is great. That's the color right here. We're going to replace that. Let's make it the orange that we have in our border. We'll hit OK, just for fun. And right now, we've got a border around Kyler Murray's figure. And if we were to patch the Delta Keyer back into the mask, he's going to be covered by this fill. So don't worry. Let's go back to Delta Keyer. Come over to Mask right here. Select that. And then right here where it says Subtract, you click on that. And it goes away. And we now have a nice soft glow. And I don't like the soft glow. So let's go back to Matte. We'll change from here where Replace Mode, where it says Soft Color. We're going to change that to Hard Color. Select that, and you see it gets a little stronger. So you can blur it out here. You can do whatever you want. I'm not gonna. That's up to you. I just want to show you how we do that. So now essentially Kyler's got his orange glow. We'll step back out to our timeline, And you will see Kyler has that glow around him. And there he is. I want to do something kind of fun here. Let me put Kyler above the border. So now you see his waist is above the rectangles that we have with the color, and it looks like the orange goes into him and around his body and back into the border. So that looks like a little fun. We'll leave JJ behind the rectangles. So let's put a border around JJ. All right, so let's open that back up. Just a more practice so you can see how we do it. All right, we'll just repeat all the steps we did with Kyler Murray. We'll grab the background down, change that to green, throw that into the preview side here. So we have our green screen essentially. While we're on background, we hit Shift and Spacebar. We select matte control, add that to the background, and then we patch JJ into the matte, and then we drag that matte over to our preview side, and there we go. We see JJ. And if there was anything we missed in when we picked out the background with the magic mask on the original photo, you would see it in the green screen and you'd be able to like go back on this side and fix it. But we're good. We're pretty good. So with matte control selected, I'm going to hit Shift and Spacebar once again. We're going to hit Delta key here. There it is. We're going to add that. That's essentially, we're going to green screen, but first we're going to drag that in and fill JJ in with that black shadow. Now with Delta key selected, we're going to go over to background color. That's what we're keying out. We select the green. It is gone. We come over to the controls again, hit matte, erode, dilate. Once again, I liked it to be about 75. You do it as you like. I leave that up to you. We change that from a soft color in replace mode to hard color. I'm going to change that color to the same orange that we had around Kyler Murray. And before I patch this glow on JJ, we're going to come over to mask. We're going to select subtract. That takes away the shadowy figure. And now we will patch this back into the mask of JJ's photo. And there you have it. JJ has his glow around him. And there he is. So I'm going to bring our fonts back over here. I'm probably going to mess with this a little more, but let's just say that's good. I love it. It's great. We're going to come over here. We're going to come over to File. We're going to select Export. Current frame as a still. We will name that what our sequence is so it matches. I'm going to put this as a revise because I did one before. But now that we have this cool blue and orange border, I'm going to use that one for the thumbnail. And that's essentially it. We have a thumbnail. Let me bring it back in so you can see that we actually made it. Let's import this back into the project. There's our revised one. Let's select that up. Let's throw it into the source monitor. Take a second, and there you go. There's our thumbnail. And that's what you're going to see when you watch this video. That's over on the Silver Linings podcast channel. If you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to this channel and go over to the Silver Linings Playbook podcast channel and subscribe there and watch the podcast and watch what I talked about, Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.